DJ Sbu Breakfast.
Welcome to the DJ Sbu Breakfast.
We just heard Gusheshe by Casper Collen. What was your favorite car growing up?
It was a Beetle, eh? Remember the old Beetle, the VW? Yes, that was my favorite.
Is it the one with the engine at the back, or it's so confusing because it boots ngati phambili, and then a mover, the engine.
Yes,
that's the one.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah,
The complicated one.
Yes.
All right, Collen, very good morning to you. Welcome to the DJ Sbu Breakfast. An entrepreneur of note, but it all had to start somewhere. So tell us about growing up, your family, how many siblings did you have, and what kind of child were you growing up?
So I'm from Venda. I'm not sure if you've been there or you know.
Not
place.
yet.
I
I only
Nah.
get up to Polokwane.
Yeah, you must proceed further.
Yes.
Yeah, so Venda is about 150 kilometers from Polokwane. I'm from a small town in Twendo. That's where I grew up, a very small family. I've got three siblings. Grew up with two, a brother and a sister. Yeah, so that's me growing up there. Very, similar situation like Soweto. The setup there is very similar to Soweto. It's a location. Went to primary there, went to a Christian school. So it's a very cultured community and so on, so I attended a Christian school and so on. So I grew up normally like how anyone else grew up,
How difficult was it for you to crack in?
For me, personally, I don't think it's something that I had achieved or I have achieved. I don't call it one of my achievements. When you're in a company, you work as a team. So there was a lot of us that were working towards that and trying to get obviously solutions out there in the market. And not only from that specific company that I worked for, it was a lot of other companies that were doing that. But in terms of adapting to that era of disruption, one had to move out. So I moved out from Data because obviously, I had the accountability with the authority, So I needed to be in an environment where one can have both, where I know that if I say something or if I make a commitment, I'll be able to live up to it, So one had to be on their own. We moved into a group of company or an investment company called AFB Invest. AFB Invest, it's an investment company that invests in companies that are involved in infrastructure development. So AFB Invest has got 14 subsidiary businesses, and those 14 businesses are all specialists in the infrastructure space. So we still have an IT business that does technology. We've got an infrastructure consulting business that does the drawings, they'll show you the plans, they'll do the pricing and so on. And then we've got a property development business. We're doing student accommodation. We're doing construction of buildings. We've got 4 construction companies that do different things in construction. We've got an electrification company that does power stations. We do the lights, we do maintenance of lights and so on. So we've got 8 sectors being serviced by 14 different businesses. We're in Botswana, we're in South Africa, we're in Zimbabwe. So AFB Invest, which is the business that I'm involved in or I'm the chairman of, is just a shareholder. We own equity in 14 businesses. So when you talk to me today, you don't just talk IT. IT is just the 5% of what we do.
Which, Mr. Collen, I would like to ask, what has been your biggest lesson, life's lesson so far?
2009, 2010, I experienced a huge downfall in business where everything collapsed. Had to liquidate one business. I had to to retrain staff and so on, And through that entire process, I think one learned not to over exaggerate their self-importance, So, you must always put God first and always know who the master is. So at times we forget that we're not the most intelligent people, we're not the most luckiest people, we're not the most loaded people and so on, and we become a bit arrogant.
You're not in control.
We're not in control, and we forget who the real master is. So God has got his way of showing you who the real master is, And as an entrepreneur, you must go through that phase that, you must experience the downfall and experience your lowest. The exciting thing or the most challenging thing, and most rewarding is having to stand up or pick yourself up when you're down, So, but to be able to do that, you must know the formulas. And some of those formulas are putting God first and surrounding yourself with the right people and so on. So I think that was the biggest lesson for me, to then say, how do you then try to pick yourself up when you're down? Which also one element is diversifying in business, not only having to rely on one source of income or one business solution or one service, So we have diversified. So when IT is not doing well, we know that we'll still make some money through construction. When construction is not doing well, we know electrification will, so diversifying,